first, in order to define vectors, we must contrast it with with another type of quantities called scalars, no? Vectors and scalars. Okay? Notice that I capitalized the vectors, but only normal ang scalars, no? This is actually due to the fact that our focus will be on vectors. Up to this point, you only deal with scalars. Okay? All measurements that we talked about last meeting were actually scalars. Okay? They can be components of some vectors, but we take them as scalars. So when we say scalars, okay, we can think of scalars are any measurements, no? We can think of this as any measurement which gives us the magnitude. Okay, the word here is magnitude. It's it's quite a technical term because we are actually preparing this vocabulary for the vectors. But when we speak of magnitude, no, we can think of this as how do we magnitude, some synonymous phrases for magnitude. How much, right? We can think of this as how much, how big, how large, okay? And some sort of, we can think of this as amount of something, okay? How much of that measurement, no? How big is that measurement of that attribute? That's a magnitude, okay? So meaning, by default, any measurement is a scalar, okay? Like when you measure a mass, 3 kilograms, that's how much it is, okay? If you measure the current to be 2 amperes, that's how much the current is, how big the current is, or whatever is that, no? Whatever adjective you put it, you use. When we are able to know what a scalar is, we can now understand what a vector is. Okay? So a vector is, this is actually, it's part, there are two, the vector has two components. No, we can think of that as components, no? Quote and unquote, components. A vector has two components. It has magnitude. It also tells you about the magnitude, and it will tell you about the direction. Okay? At least this is the way we define the vector in this level. There are many levels that we can define a vector. If you go to more advanced topics or advanced formulations in physics, you will meet a very abstract definition of a vector. Okay? Now, in this part, let's just accept that a vector has two components. No? And why do we need vectors? Because there are quantities, there are things, there are measurements that we need to specify some directionality. For example, let's actually contrast some example of this. So let's have a comparison between the two. What are examples of scalars? Okay, some examples of scalars. You have, of course, the mass, the temperature. Okay, the mass is it gives you the amount of the substance, no? How much of the how much matter is contained into that. Temperature is how hot or how cold, no? Speed, this is how fast, right? And you have, of course, you have distance, how far. Example is you have the force. The force is you are not only concerned with how strong, you're also concerned with in what direction is it pushing you or is it pulling you. You have velocity. Now, velocity, you have speed here. That means that these two, the speed is actually what we call the magnitude of the velocity. What's the difference? The speed is how fast. I am traveling to CDO at 20 meters per second. That would be velocity. I am specifying direction. Okay? But if you would say I am traveling at 20 meters per second without specifying any direction, you're just saying how fast you are. Okay? Okay? That would be the speed. Okay? Now, the velocity could be negative because we take the positive and the negative as a sense of direction. Now, we can think of to the right as positive and to the left as negative. Or you can actually change the convention there. Up, positive, down, negative, or you can, again, you can change the convention there. No? But the speed is always what we call something like, it's a positive because it tells you how fast you are. Okay, you're not specifying anything. So that's the difference. Okay? Now, distance. On the, baliktad ani is the position. Not baliktad actually. Distance, position is the vector counterpart of distance. Okay? Every vector has a scalar counterpart, but not every scalar has a vector counterpart. Okay, you have to take note of that. No? Every vector has a scalar counterpart. Why is that? Why is every vector, why does every vector have a scalar counterpart? Well, it's because every vector has a magnitude. So sa ato pa, a scalar is just a part of this vector. But not all scalars have vector counterpart. For example, temperature. No? Temperature, as measured in Kelvin or degrees centigrade or degrees Celsius, degrees Fahrenheit. No, you have three pinaka-common, no? Celsius, Fahrenheit, and the Kelvin. You cannot have a vector counterpart on this one. These are scalars. This will tell you only how hot something. These are scalar. A temperature function is a scalar function. Okay? Well, in more advanced formulation, you can, out of that scalar function, you can actually obtain a vector through the gradient, but that's no longer the temperature. The temperature gradient is no longer the temperature. Okay? It's actually, it's related to the temperature, how the temperature changes in space, but it's not a pure Kelvin unit measurement. The quantity of that quantity is not actually pure Kelvin or Celsius or Fahrenheit. Okay? Mass is, again, a scalar quantity. Now, we have also acceleration. Acceleration, no? Acceleration, well, of course, you can have an acceleration as a scalar, but in general, acceleration is specified as vectors. Well, another one here that we are going to encounter later is the momentum. We now need to understand how do we write a vector then? Okay, how do we write a vector? Because a vector has magnitude and direction, and it's easy to write a scalar. That is just a number and a unit, right? 3 kilometers per second or whatever. No? But how do we write a vector? Okay? Well, it's easy. We can write a vector this way. 20 kilometers east. No? This is a vector. No? Another type of vector is 10 meters per second west. That's specifying direction. Or I can actually, let's say, 10 meters per second to what? Uh, to CDO, no? Let's say you want to go to CDO at 10 meters per second. This is a vector. Or let's say 10 meters. Sometimes we use this. Sometimes we use this quantity. Let's say 10 meters on your left. On your sa ba? 10 meters from your back. O 10 meters 2 o'clock. This is actually some sort of a colloquial way of ano. Sometimes, how do you use this one? Like, this is actually 12 o'clock. So if I'm talking, like, use this one as, for example, asa man? 2 o'clock. I'm actually saying, no? 2 o'clock sa ako I'm speaking. So ikaw, nakakadiri, no, you should put your, so imagine mo asa akong 2 o'clock because this is 12, no? 12, 1, 2, 3, no? So somewhere along diri sa ako Or when you say some 7, okay, 7 o'clock, so you're referring sa likod, no? So, yan na ninyo, no? You have to specify asa nimo gyano. Like for example, I'm using this. Let's say kay John Clark, mingon ko sa iya nga John Clark na iko ano na ano ba? Na iro. I should specify. Let's say mingon ko na iro 4 o'clock nimo. So meaning his own we call now that coordinate system. Meaning here that in order to specify a vector, we have first to specify a coordinate system. Okay? This is impossible without a coordinate system. No? This is impossible without a coordinate system. You could not specify direction. No? So there are many ways to do this. So we write vectors. The way we write vectors depends on the coordinate system we use. So this is our actually our conclusion here. The way we write vectors depend on our coordinate system. Okay, this is a big word, coordinate system. No? The way we define, the way we write vectors depend on our coordinate system. Like for example, my 2 o'clock is different from the 2 o'clock of the different of the 2 o'clock of the person nga we are actually facing each other, right? Okay, so this is now the key word here. A coordinate system. What's a coordinate system now? Now, of course, when we now go into, since vectors depend on the coordinate system, let's actually use the easiest or the most convenient, I think this is safe to say that this is the most convenient coordinate system. The Cartesian, or we call this the rectangular coordinate system. Okay? The rectangular or the Cartesian coordinate, this is familiar to you. Of course, you have the x-axis and the y-axis. Positive, positive, negative, negative here. So you have quadrants here. So basically, a point in the Cartesian plane is actually a position. In fact, here, a point is already specifying a position. So specifying a point in the rectangular coordinate system by its x, y is actually now a vector. The points on the Cartesian coordinate system are actually vectors. Why? Because whenever we specify the x and we specify the y, we know it, we can locate it specifically asa siya, right? So basically, using this, we can now illustrate, how we illustrate the vector is that we illustrate it in terms of its endpoint here, kung asa siya ginaano, and an arrow from the origin to that point. And we can say, we can call this vector, we can just label it A with an arrow diha. Okay? We can label it A with an arrow like this. Okay? Now, A now will be given by, okay, this vector A has two, refers to this point here. No? So, we can write A actually as AX, AY. So, this is exactly a vector. What a vector is. Now, if we have another point here, let's call this point B. We can have this vector also, vector B, and label it as BX, BY. This is a vector, okay? Now, any vector labeled this way is what we call a Cartesian vector. Okay? These are Cartesian vectors. Okay? Okay. So, you might ask, a vector has both magnitude and direction. Asa ang magnitude dira, asa ang direction? Okay? Where's the magnitude here? And where's the direction? Okay? Now, in order to first here, in the Cartesian coordinate system, this is already specifying direction, directionality. But the magnitude of the vector is not specified here. This one here, kanisha, since that is already a point, that's a location. A location, what we call a location is already a direction, right? No? When say direction, you can actually just specify the location, right? And that's already a direction. So meaning, Cartesian vectors, we call these Cartesian vectors. Cartesian vectors are specified in terms of their location or direction. Absent here are their magnitude. Now, how do we write the magnitude of these vectors? Okay? Well, we can just, the magnitude of the vectors is the length of this arrow here, meaning how far is this point from the origin. Okay? And we can calculate it by using a Pythagorean, right triangle. Notice that it will form a right triangle dire. And we know that this is AX here. That's just AX. And here is AY. And what is now the length of this? Just Pythagorean theorem. So sa ato pa, the magnitude of A denoted by this, okay? This is the magnitude of a vector. Okay? The magnitude of a vector A is given by AX squared plus AY squared square root. At least if A is written in terms of Cartesian. Okay? If A is written in terms of Cartesian coordinates or rectangular coordinates. It's called rectangular coordinates because at every point, you can actually, you are forming a rectangle, right? Here, there's a rectangle there. Na rectangle dira, no? Every point can form, you're forming a rectangle. Okay? So, this is how you write the magnitude of A, no? This is, okay, the magnitude or the length of the vector A. Now, here, take note. The magnitude of a vector is a scalar. Nakuha? The magnitude of a vector is a scalar, meaning that this one here is itself a scalar. And the components of a vector are scalars. Meaning that AX, okay, kanida, we have to, remark. You have to be careful on this one. The components AX, AY, and the magnitude of the vector in Cartesian are scalars. So basically, for example, okay, let's have some example before we proceed. No? Let's say that our vector A is given by negative 2, let's say meters, no? 3 meters. What is now the magnitude of A? No? First, let us actually illustrate this one. Negative 2, negative 3. So we have this one. Negative 2, positive 3. So negative 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. No? So this is now my vector A. This is the point there. And this is now my A. So the magnitude of A is just equal to what? Negative 2 meter squared plus 3 meter squared square root. And you have 4 meter squared plus 9 meter squared square root. And you have square root of 13 meters. Notice that this is also in meters. The unit also, I have to add it here. The units are scalars and they have the same units. Okay? So notice, this is meter square, but when you take the square root, it becomes now meters. Okay? Square root of 13, okay, meters. Or that's pila. You can use calculator to solve that, no? Square root of 13 meters. So that's how, this is now how far. Okay, the magnitude of A measures how far this point is from the origin. So I'd like, again, another, let's call this remark 1. No? And some remark 2. The magnitude of A, okay, measures how far is the point or the position from the origin. Suppose that I have another vector, vector B. Let's say this is B here. Okay, let's say this is B, no? Vector B, which is actually given by what? Meaning, 1, 4, no? 1 meter. I'll just omit the units, no? Okay? I'll just omit the units now. Okay? 1 and 4. Now, what can I do? What operations can I do to both A and B? Okay, now tanaw natin siya. We can actually have some what we call vector addition. Now, we can now have some operations on vectors, no? Operations that can be done that can be done on vectors. First is, of course, addition. How we define vector addition? For any function, let A and B be given by A is equal to AX, AY, and B is given by BX and BY. So the sum of A plus B is equal to AX plus BX, AY plus BY, which is also equal to B plus A. So vector addition is actually a commutative. Now let's have some remark here. Remark 3. Vector addition, okay, vector addition is commutative. Commutative. What is commutative mean? You can actually increase, no? A plus B is equal to B plus A. Okay? Now, if we are going to add A plus B here, geometrically, this is the algebra. We can actually this is the algebraic form. But how about the geometric interpretation of the sum of two vectors? A plus B is just equal to what? Negative 2 plus 1, 3 plus 4. What do you get? That's negative 1, 7. Where's negative 1, 7? Okay, I'll erase this one now. Negative 1, 7, 1, 2, 3. No, this is 7. Negative 1, this is negative 1, 7. So this is now my vector. When I can actually label this as another vector. Okay? Another remarks here. Remark 4. The sum of two vectors is another vector. Okay? The sum of two vectors is another vector. Okay, when you add two vectors together, you get a third vector. Okay, I want to draw this I want to draw this in terms of kanang accurate scale, no, so that we can actually have some good ano dire. This is my B, and my A would be negative 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So this is my A. This is my vector A. How about this is 7, negative 1? This is actually A plus B, no? This is A plus B here. Now, what we now want is actually, we want to give this a geometric meaning in relation to these two arrows here. Okay? How is this geometrically related to here and to here? Okay? Well, suppose that vector addition can be actually suppose we put our coordinate system. In order to understand this one here, suppose that we want to put our origin to where A is. Okay? We want to put our origin to where A is. So sa ato pa na kay gamay nga coordinate system dira. And then from A, you want to draw the vector B. No? So if from A, I want to go in the direction of B, no? I mean, yeah, suppose that naadiri ang origin. Okay, I move now the origin to A and move B into this one. So from here A, this is negative 2, right? This is negative 2, 3, right? If I'm going to move in the direction of B, B is at what? Ano to? Where's B? No, B, this is negative, this is 1, 4, no? So, meaning, 1 is positive, meaning I go positive to the right. This is actually an instruction. Take note of that. This coordinate system, this one is an instruction. This would tell you the first component, okay, by the way, the first component of a vector is an instruction. Because direction na siya, right? I've said a while ago that the Cartesian coordinate system contains the direction. What's that direction? Well, on the first component, it's actually an instruction to tell you to how many units are you going to walk, either to the left or to right. If it is positive, then you walk to the right. If it is negative, you walk towards the left. So meaning, B is actually an instruction. Here, we can think of B as an instruction what? An instruction to walk 1 step to the right and 4 steps to the upwards. Okay? So this is actually an instruction. A is actually an instruction. No? Unsa ni siya? I would go walk 2 steps to the left and walk 3 steps to the upward direction. Okay? So these are instructions. Now, if I'm going to move, but the point here at B, And I'm going to use the instruction B, no, the same instruction, meaning move to the left by, to the right by 1. So this is negative 2. Asan na siya karon? This is negative 1. What's the y component? Of course, 3, no? I'm not changing. This is negative 2, 3. So here is negative 1, 3. No? And then move 4 up. So 4 units up. So 1, this is 1, so dire. So I'm now in the, I'm y equals 4. 2, I'm y equals 5. And here, y equals 7. And actually, I would hit exactly that point here. No? So a plus b is just actually trying, it's like, if I'm going to put b here, dire, then I would exactly reach the same point as this. Okay? Because we cannot think as this Cartesian vector as instructions. No? To walk steps to the left or right or up or down. So, nakuha ninyo? So, this is a plus b. So, technically, if you have this vector here and another vector here, no? Let's call this some vector x and vector y. You can actually put y on the tip of x. Kung asa na siya mag-end, wherever it will end, that would now be the vector x plus y. No? Now, how about, I'll do the opposite. Instead of moving the origin at A, I'll move towards the point where B instructs me. And then after that, I'm going to follow the instruction on A. Okay, what's the instruction on A? Go 2 steps to the left and 3 steps up. So this is 1, 4, 2 steps to the left. This would make me my x0. And this would be negative 1, right? And what? 3 steps up. So this is 4, 1, this is 5 now. Y equals 5. Y equals 6 for 2. And for the third is y equals ato pa. This will also end at the same point. This now will be A. This is B. Now notice that this is what exactly means by commutativity. The order will not change. Nakuha ninyo? So, meaning that if instead of doing this, I'm going to put x at the edge of y, I would exactly meet the same point. It doesn't matter which instruction I'm going to follow first. Okay? So, nakuha ninyo? No. So, adding vectors is just like, if you have many vectors, it's like actually, okay, in general, if you have vector A, no? Vector small a, vector b, vector c, vector d, no, and so on. A plus b plus c plus d is that you can, what's a plus b? So a plus b, this is a, plus b plus c plus d, no? That's a plus b plus c plus d. How about d plus b plus a plus c? You would exactly meet at the same, all possible permutation or will exactly end up the same point. It's commutative, no? So this is now the geometric meaning of that one. Kani. Okay? So that's how vector sum works here. Okay? That's in Cartesian. Okay? Now this is our first operation. We have now another operation for a vector. Multiplying a vector by a scalar. Multiplying a vector by a scalar. Okay? Or we can just call this scalar multiplication, no? Scalar multiplication. We can just call this that way. Or another term is scaling a vector. Another is scaling a vector. So, okay. how do we do this? For any scalar k, let k be a scalar. Let k be a scalar. Sa ito pa, k times a is equal to k-a-x, k-a-y. All you have to do is multiply k into the components of the vector. So for example, what's negative 1 times a? I'll just put it here. What's negative 1 times a? No? That would be what? Negative 1 times negative 2, that would be positive 2. 2, and then negative 1 times 3, that would be negative 3. Now, how do we, sa ito pa, negative 1 times a is another, this is another vector. Okay? Okay, I need to put a remark here. Scalar multiplication, okay, produces another vector. Produces another vector. Now, what is this another vector? Scalar multiplication produces another vector. And what is this vector? This actually vector, this another vector is a scaled version of the original vector. Okay? This is a scaled version. Okay. This is remark, pila na ni remark 5, no? 5, I'll actually have some remark 6. I'd like to separate this, no? Remark 6. Scalar produces another vector. I can actually combine this one, no? Into one, ano. But anyways, ako na lang lahiyon. I'll just write it in different ways. This another vector here, okay, is a scaled version, okay? This another vector is a scaled version of the original vector. Now, of course, here, this remark 6 is on the context of remark 5. Nakuha? Which is actually in the context of scalar multiplication, no? This another vector is a scale. Now, notice a scale. That's why you have, what's a scale? Well, when we think of something as a scale, it's either enlarged or, ano ba? Saan mo gamay gani? Enlarged or compressed, no? It's either enlarged or shortened, no? It's enlarged or shortened. Now, how about here? Okay, let's have some another example. Let's say 2a. What's 2a? This is what? 2 times negative 2. This is negative 4. And then this would be what? 6. Okay? Now, okay. Now, let's call this some vector C, and this is some vector D. Okay? Let's take the magnitude of D. Okay? Let's take the magnitude of D. What's the magnitude of D? This should be equal to what? Negative 4 squared plus 6 squared. That would be 16 plus 36. Pila na? 16 plus pila? Square root of 52. Sakto ba? 16. Which is, kung tanaw ninyo, this is what? In terms of ano? This is square root of 4 times square root of 52, square root of 4 times square root of 13, right? Square root of 56 square root of 4 times square root of 13, which is just actually 2 square root of 13. Which is, kung tanaw na to, this is just twice the magnitude of A. Now, I have to, I have to prove now this. I want to claim this one now. No, okay? Claim. Okay? The magnitude of Ka, remember, this is a new vector, right? This is a third, this is now another vector, right? This is not the, this is the vector A, the scaled version of A. No, that Ka. The magnitude of Ka, because it's about, is actually equal to the K times the magnitude of A. I want to make this claim. Okay? And I can actually prove it. No? I can prove it. What's this? You can just prove it quite simply. Unsa ni siya? You go from left to right, no? To prove this one, what's Ka? By definition, Ka is this, right? The magnitude of Ka now, the magnitude of the vector Kax, Kay. That's what we're actually taking, no? The magnitude of that vector. By definition of the magnitude, this is what? Kax squared, squared plus Kay squared, square root. Right? And this is what? This is K squared, Ax squared plus K squared, Ay squared. Squared. Okay? And I can factor out K squared. So K squared times Ax squared plus Ay squared. And okay, by the way, sorry, I have to add here some magnitude, absolute value. Okay? Okay. This is now square root of K squared times square root of Ax squared plus Ay squared. But what is this? This is just the absolute value of K, right? That's the definition of the absolute value. The square root of the square. Times, this is what? This is the magnitude of A. Now, if this 2 applies to a scalar, we call that the absolute value. If it applies to a vector, we call that the magnitude. But in fact, they're synonymous. Because the absolute value is actually the magnitude, right? Nakuha ninyo? So, meaning that, okay, we have actually confirmed this, no? For example, what is negative? What is now the magnitude of negative 1 times A? This is equal to 1 times magnitude of A, right? This is equal to square root of 13. So that's why this is called a scaled version because of this theorem here. A is being scaled by what? By the scalar. That's why we call it a scalar. It scales the vector. Nakuha ninyo? Seeing it into ano? Okay, I have to add something here. It's a scaled version of the original version. This is another scaled version of the original vector. Okay? Okay, here, I must assert that this another vector is actually a collinear vector. This another vector and the original vector forms a collinear vector. In fact, it doesn't change its direction. It doesn't change it, it changes its direction oppositely, o ano lang, no? Ano lang, for example, let's try to draw this one. 2, negative 3. That's what? 2, negative 3. 1, 2, 3. And this is now negative A. This is minus A, right? This is negative 1 times A. How about 2A? That's negative 4, 6. 1, 2, 6. This is 6 here. In fact, this is 2A. It's just twice this vector, right? So, if you multiply a vector by a positive number, you get a vector in any dire, no? Sa iyahang, on the same direction. But if you multiply a vector by a negative number, it changes direction but only on the opposite side. The two vectors are still collinear. Nakuha ninyo? So still, you can have a vector na dire. Nakuha niyo? So it doesn't change. If you have this vector, you can have this vector, you can have that vector, or you can have any vector here from this original vector by just multiplying this vector by a number. No? Okay? So that's what a scalar multiplication does to a vector. Okay? Anyway, last na lang siyang ano. We take the third operation, we have katong ano is the dot product. Okay, the third operation is the dot product, no? Dot product. Okay? Let A still we have two vectors A. The dot product is denoted by this. The dot product of two vectors A and B denoted by this is just equal to AX BX plus AY BY. Okay? Or we can think of this as, or an alternative definition, or A dot B is equal to the magnitude of A times the magnitude of B times cosine of the angle between them. Okay. Now, a remark here. This is papila na rin nga remark. 7? 7? Remark 7. The dot product of two vectors produces a scalar. Meaning that if you take the dot product of two vectors, you get a scalar. Unlike katuganing scalar multiplication, you get a vector, right? For the dot product, you get a scalar. Okay? Now, it's easy to perform the dot product. The dot product is actually what? For example, ganiha, recall A is equal to, sa to, negative 2, 3, no? And your B is what? 1, 4. So, A dot B equals what? Negative 2 times 1 plus 3 times 4. This is negative 2 plus 12. This is 10. Now, what's the unit of this? This is a square. If this is in meters and this is in meters, then this will be in meter square. Sa ato pa, the dot product is some sort of measurement of an area. Okay? What area is that? Okay? Now, okay. Kailangan ko i-introduce. We introduce the last product is we call this the cross product. Now, in order to conduct the cross product, okay? In order to conduct the cross product, we have to move into the 3 dimensions. By the way, in 3 dimensions, in the A now will be given by as what? In 3 dimensions, you have now, this is AX, AY, and AZ. Okay, that's the vector, that's a 3-dimensional vector. Now, the cross product is, to perform the cross product, you need a 3-dimensional vector. Okay? So, A cross B. Now, I will not give you here, I will only give you the magnitude of the cross product. Okay? We will study the, the cross product, by the way, here, okay, I'll just define this as this matrix here. Wala pa tayo nag-define og IJK. Dili pa ta kakuha na no? For now, I will define to you the cross product actually, okay? The cross product is a product that produces another vector, a third vector. Okay? Pero as of now, since we don't have that notion of okay, ang ako sang i-define is ang iyang magnitude. I'm defining now the magnitude of the cross product. Okay, the cross product produces a vector, a third vector. What I'm defining now is the magnitude of that third vector, which is the cross product of two vectors. This is given by the magnitude of A times the magnitude of B times cosine of the angle. This is sine theta AB. What is this? If you have vector A here, and you have vector B here, and they are actually this is theta AB, no? So, the angle between them is actually what we call theta AB. Now, if our vector is given in terms of this, it's difficult to find theta AB, right? It's not easy. You can it takes a lot of calculation. It's not difficult, but some calculation, no, it's quite a long calculation. So that's why we use this definition here. But on the next, when we define the polar vectors, this will be much more helpful than this one. When the vectors are given in terms of magnitude, this will be more useful. As of now, we are not going to use this one. We use this one. But the problem is this cross product has a version like this, but it needs some determinants, some quite advanced. So next meeting, I'll be discussing that next meeting. We will interpret this next meeting. Last day ay kailangan na diri is that 5. Converting any vector into a unit vector. Actually, I forgot this. This should follow from the scalar multiplication. Okay? What's a unit vector? I'll define a unit vector is any vector which has a length of 1, no? A unit vector definition, no? I'll define some here. Definition. A unit vector is any vector whose magnitude is 1 unit, no? Or 1. If it's in meters, then it's 1 meter. If it's in Newton, it's 1 Newton. Okay? A unit vector is a vector whose magnitude. Now, we usually denote it, a unit vector is usually denoted by a hat instead of an arrow. So, for example of this is, for any here, we can convert, it turns out that we can convert any vector to a unit vector by this operation. Given a vector A, we can actually convert A to a hat. This is when the vector is actually given in terms of hat notation. This is a hat. That means that A is a unit vector. Through this operation, this is A, or this is just multiplying by the reciprocal of the magnitude of A. No? So this is, any vector can be converted into a unit vector by this operation. How do you do that? Get the magnitude of A, then multiply the reciprocal of that magnitude to A. For example, last example, balik na sa katong A na to, ganyan, no? What was our A? This is negative 2, 3, right? So the unit vector A, first, what is the magnitude of A? This was, we calculated b square root of 13, right? So sa ato pa, A hat now would be what? 1 over square root of 13 times negative 2, 3. And this would now be what? Negative 2 over square root of 13, 3 over square root of 13. No? It's easy to show that this is actually a unit vector, no? Prove. It's easy to show that one, no? It's actually, we can actually show the proof of this one, no? We have to prove this one, no? Okay, last. Prove that A hat, okay, that 1 over the magnitude of A times A is a unit vector. Now, how do we prove that? How do you prove this? Then, we have to take the magnitude of this, right? Okay? What's this vector? 1 over the magnitude of A. A is what? This is just equal to what? This is AX. Okay. But this is 1 over the magnitude of A. Take note that this is just a number, right? Times AX, AY. You can add AZ if it's in 3 dimensions. Okay? And sa ato pa, this now becomes AX over the magnitude of A, just like that. AY over the magnitude of A. Now take the magnitude of this vector now. Take the magnitude of that. No? The magnitude of AX over the magnitude of A, AY over the magnitude of A is what? Well, by definition of the magnitude, we have to square its component, right? Square this, so AX over the magnitude of A squared plus AY over the magnitude of A squared. And take the square root. And, okay, what do we have? We have magnitude of A squared, magnitude of A squared. So we have AX squared over the magnitude of A squared plus AY squared over the magnitude of A squared. Right? Square root. Now, we can actually factor out 1 over A squared, right? So, 1 over the magnitude of A squared times, okay, this is what? This is 1 over the magnitude of A squared times, okay, AX squared plus AY squared. Square root, right? And we can separate this. Dito. Tama? When you separate this, square root of 1 over squared, that is just 1 over the magnitude of A, right? Times, what is this? The square root of AX squared plus, but what is this? Diba, this is just the magnitude of A, right? So technically, this is equal to 1 over the magnitude of A times the magnitude of A, because this is the definition of magnitude of A. So this is equal to 1. Okay? And you can actually show that this is, if you take the magnitude of this, you get 1. Okay? So, meaning that for any vector, you can actually convert the vector with the unit vector. Why is that? Why do we need to convert a vector to a unit vector? Well, in many cases, in applications, what we only need is the directions. Okay? Maybe we can actually get the magnitude in some other way, in another way. So what we need now is, what we are interested in is just the direction of that vector. So we convert that into a unit vector. No? In a more advanced applications of vector analysis, electromagnetism, it's usually, it's wise to convert vectors into unit vectors. Some of the vectors there, especially positions, are converted into unit vectors if you already know the magnitude. Okay? So, anyway, dira sa siguro ta karon, no?